Hey guys, so our daily objective today is being able to identify the best piece of textual evidence to support your inference. So up to this point, I've basically taken any type of evidence that you can find, so long as it kind of fits with your claim, and so long as you can support it with some type of explanation. At this point, though, you need to get to the level where you're finding that best piece. Whenever you take a standardized test, that's what they're going to be looking for. So by the end of this video, you need to understand how to do just that. You need to understand how to find the best piece of textual evidence. The key to finding the best piece of evidence is rereading. The only way you're ever going to find that best piece of evidence is by going back in the text and rereading. Why is finding the best evidence important? Well, it's important because it's the only way you're ever going to really prove your point. If you just keep finding just kind of substandard evidence, just stuff that kind of works, no one's actually going to be convinced by what you say. You need to find that best piece. What's the only way that you will ever find the best evidence? I told you that before. It's by rereading. Okay? Rereading is the key. Another thing that would help would be annotating the text, which basically just means underlining things you think are important, putting a star next to it, putting question marks next to things, asking your own questions, just kind of interacting with the text as you're reading. So there are two ways that you can answer an inference type question where you have to pull out textual evidence. The first way is you can go into the text already knowing the answer and find a quote that proves it. That's like the ideal circumstance, right? You know the answer, alright, I just got to go back and find where I read that quote. I just got to find where he said that. I just got to find where that happened. You're sitting pretty if you can do this. However, knowing that as we progress in the year and as readers, it's going to become more and more difficult, the questions that we're asked, we're going to also oftentimes have to go the second way. The second way is going into the text, looking for some type of evidence that will help give you the answer. Okay, so you're not already going in knowing the answer, knowing the quote you're looking for. You're going into the text thinking, what part do I think I can reread that it might talk about this? Where are these characters interacting? Or where is something about this happening that I might get the answer? This way requires a lot more rereading. You have to look back a lot more, skim over more, not reread word for word every single line, every single sentence, but kind of skim over the text, looking for kind of key parts, key words, key characters that you think might help give you the answer. Okay, so these are the two types of ways to answer an inference type question where you're pointing out textual evidence. So what should you do instead of saying, I don't know the answer? Well, whenever you say you don't know the answer, all that really means is you don't know the answer right away and where to find it in the text. So, what do? You go on to step 2, and you look in the text and you reread, hoping that you find some piece of evidence that you can use to prove whatever your claim might be. So going into this, you don't even know your claim right away, right? You go into this thinking, let me find some type of evidence and I can build a claim off of this. I can build my own answer based off of what I read. What should you do instead of saying, I'm not going to read this again? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You reread it because that's the only way that you can be successful. I know that you think if you're a struggling reader that, I read it one time, I kind of understood it, and I'm done for good. But all of the best students, myself included growing up, and even right now when I'm taking grad school classes, I constantly have to reread stuff again. You don't even notice you're rereading stuff because you do it so often. Because once again, that's the only way that you're going to find that truly best piece of evidence. Okay? Hope this helped you. Hopefully this will help you to master our objective I'll be able to identify the best piece of textual evidence. Once you feel like you've mastered this, go back into Google Classroom and follow the next steps. Thank you guys.